Hi Scorpio, welcome to your end of June 2019 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here on a Saturday night. You know, I've been doing some YouTube readings on Saturday nights. It turns out that it's not too shabby a time to do them because it's actually relatively quiet. And I can kind of do my thing. So I'm happy about that. And it's funny too because I'm always thinking like when I'm posting videos on Saturday night that it's going to be like nobody's, watching or anything. But it's amazing how many people are around. And of course, we have to look at time zones too, don't we? We're all in different time zones. Oh, isn't that funny? I got the Seven of Cups. I have a funny story about the Seven of Cups. Let me, I'm going to pick an additional card. Oh, that's what I got for Leo, too. So maybe you're going to be dealing with a Leo. It's so funny because when I first started doing this in 2015, I remember I would do a lot of readings, especially like personal readings, and I do them outside when I first started. And I think it was because I felt like it was noisier in my local area than somewhere, where I was doing it nearby. And I remember one night I lost the Seven of Cups, and I was like looking for it everywhere, and then I found it a day later, and it was all messed up because it had rained. And so I got another deck, and guess what card I lost again? Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups can be about confusion. Neptune is connected to this card. So definitely, I think the universe is trying to tell me something about myself. So I'm going to wait for one of you to say, the reading starts at 2:26. The heart of the matter is the Page of Pentacles. This can be a message about money. Gosh, don't you always look in your mailbox for, checks and stuff? The late Dr. Wayne Dyer, who happened to be a Taurus, so this makes perfect sense. He said that he used to do that. He would always the check is in the mail, always like thinking that he was going to get money. I always do that too, even, and not that there was, not a specific thing that I'm actually waiting for, but just thinking, oh yeah, maybe, you never know, somebody might just send me a check. But this can also be the card of the student. And if you have a child who is an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, it could be that you're dealing with this child and that they're kind of like front and center in your life at this time. I've also read that the Page of Pentacles can be receiving a small lump sum of money, not like some kind of amazing amount, but something. And like I said, this could be the card of the student, so maybe even like student loans. If you've been kind of haggling or trying to get them, or a new relationship with an earth sign. In the past position, we have the Three of Wands. So it's like Scorpio kind of maybe taking a chance. And also expanding. It's really about expansion. So for instance, maybe if you're on the job and you think to yourself, I want to have as many credentials as possible, so I'm going to take more classes, or kind of get a certain certification so that I can be more valuable to the company, or if I'm looking for work, that I'll have more opportunities. And also maybe in a relationship, wanting more from a partner. So that could even have meant that you left a primary relationship for a new relationship with an earth sign. The higher message is the World card, which is a card of, this is graduation day or endings. And, I mean, there are different possibilities. I mean, for some people, if you're like thinking, maybe I'll go and get a different major. It could be saying, you've already changed your major 5 times and it's time to, do what it takes to graduate so that you can at least start to put that degree into use. It could be saying something like that. However, I think in general, this is a spiritual message, so I feel like it's saying something that you coming to an end of a cycle. And it's funny because the page represents new beginnings in a way, or early stage of something. So in some cases, like let's say that you are trying to get some kind of credential, the World card could be saying, I know that you would love to have a guarantee, but this avenue of your life, this job that you have been on for X number of months or years, just you're done with it. The season is over. And so getting another degree or another training credential isn't going to really help, because maybe the company is going to close, or maybe you're just meant to go in a different direction. And if you have met somebody new who is like an earth sign, and you were with another person at the time, it might be that relationship is falling by the wayside because of this new person in your life. And definitely if they are literally an earth sign, that certainly would be very compatible for you. In general, of course. It's funny because what crosses you is the Hermit, and that's connected to Virgo, which is one of the earth signs. But as a challenge card, the Hermit can indicate not heeding inner wisdom and kind of maybe, ignoring it or not even seeking it. Perhaps there are reasons for this, though. Maybe you are feeling somehow uncomfortable in your own skin, Scorpio, and you want that sense of somebody making you feel special. And you're not even worried about whether or not it's a relationship that will last. You just want that sense of an ego boost or something like that. If this is a situation that's connected to work, the wisdom that you could be spurning could be connected to not believing that you have other options. Actually, the Three of Wands in the past position is something that you need to adopt permanently, because it is a very expansive card, and actually we are in a 3 universal year, so we are meant to see the abundance around us and to seek it out more and to be creative. One thing that's interesting, I've always been a creative person in an artistic sense, and then one time I read that being an entrepreneur is something that is creative. And I always thought like business was very dry and it didn't have anything to do with creativity. And now I have a totally different view. Now that I think about it, maybe you have started doing something entrepreneurial and even gotten a small loan, or have, possibly begun to see the profit, it's starting to turn a profit or something like that. And the World card in that sense could be even travel, that you need to, because the Three of Wands can be about taking something, far and wide, spreading something far and wide. And it could be saying, travel will give you that sense of where you need to be. You know, think about the people who meet their soulmate, or we'll just say their partner, when they go off to college and excuse me, and it's in a different country or a different state, far away from where they were raised. Or same thing with a job offer. They get a job offer, somebody gets a job offer, and it's to work in a different country, and then they just are very successful by taking that plunge. Sometimes it's a little different when you have your own business, because you have to initiate everything, and that can feel a little bit difficult, especially for a fixed sign like Scorpio, because you tend to be the builder of this zodiac, you and Taurus and Aquarius and Leo, and not necessarily prone to initiate, but more like build upon what has already started. And so the World card could be about making sure that you expand in geographically. Now, this is the spiritual card, and I think that it's trying to get you out of this, tunnel vision. Even if you have begun the process, you may still, old habits die hard, right? The advice is the Seven of Cups, and this is the card of choosing wisely. You look at these different cups. There's a snake. There are jewels. And the person, this is the card that I was saying is associated with Neptune. It can be like having a lot to choose from, being confused about that because you don't know what to choose. So it's like you have a lot of options, but you may not know what the best option is. Neptune can sometimes be a deceiver, and you may pick a bright and shiny object and then discover that it's not all it's cracked up to be. So basically, when you get the Seven of Cups, you have to approach things from a perspective of discernment and wanting to, like, if you do get offers, like maybe somebody wants to manufacture your product or something, or even if it's a job offer but it's very far away, that you don't just say yes, that you just really check it out, make sure it's legitimate. The outcome is the Five of Wands. I could have left it here. This could be like a friendly battle, a lot of competition, but kind of in a more sporty kind of a way, where you might even be working for a company where everybody is very motivated. And this isn't necessarily a bad thing. I was thinking of a dog-eat-dog environment, and so that's why I picked an additional card. But it's not always like that. It can be where everybody is just like at the top of their game, and you might be kind of thrown into that type of situation, but it might feel very invigorating, because perhaps you were somewhere where everybody was playing small and they weren't really giving their best, and now you feel that sense of passion that the fire energy represents through the wands. And then here's more of it. It's the Eight of Wands, and this is a card of fast-paced events, you having to kind of just react very quickly and decisively to something, and that's not necessarily your style. You want to deliberate, but you, again, like the Seven of Cups, you may be getting a lot of offers, and like when they say it rains, it pours. Perhaps you've had a period where it was kind of quiet, and then now all of a sudden you're getting all these offers, and you have to kind of jump on it. And you know how they say, you know, limited time only. And you might be kind of like, well, I don't know if I want to do it. Well, I mean, obviously it would have to depend on the circumstances, but sometimes, you know, as they say, you snooze, you lose. So you might want to make sure, and it's always a good idea, is to have one's life together to the point where they can do something very suddenly and they don't have all these loose ends to tie up. Because that's, to me, what the World card suggests, is that you might have a lot of stuff that needs to be resolved before you can fully move on. Okay, Scorpio, that's what I have for you. If you'd like a private reading, please click on the link below. Otherwise, have a great rest of June. Take care. Bye.